Have you ever felt like there's some kind of hidden engine behind the scenes? Something that takes your hopes, your intentions, and actually turns them into, well, reality?
That feeling, yeah, it's almost like a background hum you can sometimes tune into.
Exactly. And today, we're diving headfirst into a really fascinating idea about that. We're exploring Shakti.
Right. And our source material, Shakti Rising, the divine feminine power behind all manifestation, presents it as this fundamental creative energy, the force that fuels, well, everything.
So our mission in this deep dive is to really get a handle on what Shakti is, and maybe more importantly, how you, listening, can connect with this power in a practical way,
Yeah.
to influence your own manifestations.
Okay, let's maybe start at the root. The word itself, Shakti.
From Sanskrit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
straight from Sanskrit. The source highlights it basically means power or ability.
Okay, power. Simple enough.
Well, yes and no. It's vital to grasp that in the Vedic view, this isn't just like muscle power. It's the core active principle, the spark that gets the whole universe going and keeps it going.
So not feminine like gender necessarily, but more like
Yeah.
the active creative force.
Precisely. It's the foundational force that makes everything move, evolve, become. The source emphasizes its reality itself, vibrating into form.
Whoa,
Yeah.
okay. Reality vibrating into form. That's a pretty mind-bending thought right there.
It is. And consider this. Within that non-dual Shiva-Shakta philosophy the source mentioned.
Right, Shiva and Shakti.
Exactly. You've got Shiva, that's pure consciousness, stillness, the observer. And then you have Shakti, dynamic energy, movement, the impulse, the very act of coming into being.
So they need each other.
Totally inseparable, according to the source, like two sides of the same coin. Shiva without Shakti is potential with no juice. Shakti without Shiva is energy without direction, just chaos. Their union, their dance is creation. Think of it like having a brilliant idea that's Shiva, the consciousness.
But then actually doing something about it, making it happen.
That's Shakti, the action. Or you could see it as those cosmic masculine and feminine energies playing together. The source doesn't push one view, but presents the interplay.
That analogy, thought, and action, that really clicks. Okay.
Yeah.
So the source then brings in the goddesses, Durga, Kali, Lakshmi.
Saraswati, Parvati.
These aren't just like mythological figures in this context, are they? They seem to represent something deeper.
Exactly. The source presents them as focused expressions of that core Shakti energy, like different flavors or facets of it.
Okay, break that down a bit. Durga.
Durga is presented as the fierce protector, the warrior for justice, overcoming obstacles. Think about facing a big challenge at work. The source suggests connecting with Durga's energy could give you that inner strength, that resilience to push through.
Got it. And Kali, she always sounds intense.
She is intense. Kali is the power of transformation, the destroyer of ego, illusion, old patterns that don't serve you anymore. She even represents time itself, that relentless force.
Okay. Necessary maybe, but intense. What about Lakshmi?
Ah, Lakshmi. That's the energy of abundance, beauty, prosperity in all its forms. Flow, grace, wealth.
Nice. And Saraswati.
Wisdom, knowledge, creativity, music, the arts. That divine flow of inspiration.
And Parvati.
Parvati embodies devotion, fertility, not just physical, but creative fertility, too. And that deep inner transformation that comes through commitment and practice.
So these archetypal energies, the source says they dwell within you. Does that mean when we focus on, say, Saraswati for creativity?
You're essentially tuning into that specific frequency of Shakti within yourself. You're activating that potential.
So courage, wisdom, abundance, they're already in us as aspects of Shakti.
That's the idea, inherent potentials. Invoking them, contemplating them. It's like turning up the volume on those qualities within your own being.
Okay, got it. So we have this fundamental energy Shakti showing up in different ways. Now let's tie it directly to manifestation, because that's what a lot of people are interested in, right?
Absolutely. We often talk about thoughts, beliefs, vibration.
Yeah, the usual law of attraction stuff.
Right. But the source asks, what moves those vibrations? What animates your intention? What turns the thought form into, the actual thing?
And the answer is Shakti.
Bingo. The source positions Shakti as the engine behind vibration, the power that takes subtle energy or thoughts, feelings, intentions, and actually transmutes it into physical form.
Okay, the engine. I like that.
It uses a great image, a seed growing into a tree, that inner impulse, that life force pushing upward, demanding to grow and take form, that's Shakti.
That makes sense. And speaking of inner energy, the source talks about Kundalini.
Ah, yes, Kundalini, described as the untapped reservoir of Shakti, coiled at the base of the spine within us.
Coiled energy. Sounds potent.
Extremely potent. The source describes its awakening as this energy rising up through the chakras, the body's energy centers.
Leading you to what?
New levels of awareness, expanded consciousness, insights. It's even called spiritual electricity. Gives you a sense of its power, doesn't it?
Spiritual electricity. Wow. And how do you awaken it? Gently, I hope.
Yeah. Gently is key. The source mentions practices like specific mantras, focused breathwork, pranayama, and meditation as ways to gently stir and guide this energy.
And the goal.
The idea is that by awakening Kundalini, you become a clearer channel, a more direct, living conduit for this divine creative power to flow through you and manifest as you in your life.
Okay, becoming a conduit.
Yeah.
Now, the source introduces Satya Ji's teachings, and she talks about surrender, not control. That feels different.
It really does. It contrasts with a lot of the make it happen manifestation advice, doesn't it?
Yeah, the hustle culture stuff.
Right. Satya Ji's perspective, as presented, is quite different. There's a great quote: Shakti is not something you summon, it's what you surrender to. She moves through you when you stop trying to control her.
Surrender to it, not command it.
Exactly. It suggests the path isn't about forcing or manipulating reality, but about letting go, trusting the flow, the intelligence of this energy.
How does that work in practice? The source mentions two specific things from Satya Ji: shaking meditation and morning writing. Start with shaking. Sounds interesting.
It does. The idea behind shaking meditation is releasing stuck energy. Tension, unprocessed emotions held in the body.
So instead of sitting still to meditate, you move.
You actively engage the body. Stand grounded, shake your hands, shoulders, hips. Let the body move intuitively, breathe deeply.
And the point is,
To let that stuck energy move through and out. The source says it helps free things up, awaken your intuition, and get you in sync with Shakti's natural rhythm, connecting with your body's wisdom.
okay, very embodied. And morning writing, just writing whatever comes out.
Pretty much. First thing in the morning, 3 to 5 pages, free flow, no editing, no censoring.
Why? What's the benefit there?
Satya Ji's idea is it clears the subconscious clutter, all that mental chatter that clouds our intuition and clarity.
Like sweeping the floor.
Exactly. The source uses that exact analogy, sweeping the temple floor, to make space. Space for intuition and creativity, for Shakti's insights to come through.
I can see how that would create clarity. Okay, so we've got the essence, the goddesses, manifestation, Kundalini, surrender. Now, practical rituals. The source gives a mantra. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundayai Viche. That's a mouthful.
It is, but powerful. The source gives the pronunciation. Om Aim Hrim Klim Chamundayai Viche.
Okay. Aim Hrim Klim.
And understanding the bija sounds, the seed sounds, is key. Om, universal consciousness. Aim, Saraswati's energy, knowledge. Hrim, Ma Shakti, the great divine feminine heart energy. Klim, attraction, love, magnetic energy, linked to Lakshmi too.
Okay, layering these energies.
Precisely. Then Chamundai, that's a Chamunda, a fierce form of Durga who slays negativity.
Okay, clearing obstacles.
And Viche, a mystical term for severing illusions, cutting through limitations.
Wow. So the whole mantra is like invoking protection, wisdom, love, magnetism, and obstacle removal all at once.
That's the gist of it. Really potent for clearing the path for manifestation. The source notes it's used in advanced practices linked to the Durga Saptashati.
How does it suggest using it?
Chant 108 times daily. Sunrise or sunset are often recommended as potent times.
And while chanting.
Visualize a radiant goddess dissolving negativity. Set your intention clearly before you start. What transformation, what manifestation are you calling in? It's about invoking protection, cutting limits, awakening that transformative power within.
Okay, mantra. What else? Sacred movement.
Yeah, this is about bringing intention to how you move. Dance, stretching, yoga, but with Shakti awareness, as the source puts it. Meaning you're not just exercising, you're consciously opening energy channels, expressing devotion, making movement a prayer, connecting through the body.
And devotion and surrender. Is that like religious practice?
In not necessarily in a formal way, the source suggests simple acts, maybe setting up a small altar, something meaningful to you, lighting a candle, offering flowers, just speaking from the heart.
So creating a space to honor that creative force.
Yeah, exactly. It's about alignment. Honoring the creative energy within and around you, a gesture of receptivity.
This ties into the feminine frequency idea, right?
Yeah.
Contrasting Shakti's way, attraction, receptivity, with forceful striving.
Yes, absolutely. The source really emphasizes this shift, moving away from pushing and controlling towards becoming magnetic, learning to receive.
Calling things in rather than chasing them down.
That's the feeling. It involves trusting, allowing, connecting with your body's intuition. And Lakshmi, goddess of abundance, is linked here.
How so?
Her energy, her presence is said to be drawn to environments and inner states of beauty, receptivity, devotion, gratitude, self-worth.
So cultivating those qualities attracts abundance.
That's the connection the source makes. Raising your own vibration, consciously cultivating love, joy, gratitude creates a resonance. Shakti responds to that frequency.
And to help cultivate that vibration, the source gives some affirmations.
Yeah, framing them as a vibrational offering to invite Shakti in.
Like what?
Things like, Shakti flows through me as creativity, abundance, and magnetic presence. Simple, powerful.
Okay, I like that.
Or, I surrender control and allow divine energy to move me toward my highest path. That directly addresses the surrender piece.
Yeah, letting go.
And my body is sacred, my intuition is wise, my essence is powerful. Really affirming that inner connection and inherent power.
Using those daily could really shift your mindset, couldn't it?
That's the intention, to consciously align your energy and thoughts with Shakti.
So wrapping up this deep dive, what really stands out from Shakti Rising is that this incredible power isn't out there.
Right. It's presented as inherently part of you. Your wild, wise, creative, untamed essence, as the source puts it so beautifully.
It's a shift, isn't it? From chasing and efforting
to connecting within, learning to receive, to feel, to trust that inner wellspring and manifest from that soul-aligned place.
And the source suggests that when you honor Shakti within,
the world mirrors that sacred radiance back to you. It changes your whole relationship with creation.
So tangible next steps for you listening, based on this source.
Maybe try Satya Ji's shaking meditation. See how it feels to move that energy.
Or explore the Chamundaya mantra. Maybe just start with a few repetitions.
Or begin that morning writing practice. Just see what comes up when you clear the decks.
And a final thought to leave you with, building on the source. How might your experience of manifestation change if you shifted focus? From chasing desires to consciously aligning with and surrendering to this immense creative power already living inside you.
Something to really sit with, isn't it?